they didn't start calling me negative all at once. At first it was phrased as a contrast. You just see things differently. Then it sharpened, you focus on the downside. Eventually it settled into something easier to repeat. I was too negative to be around, especially on trips. No one said it during an argument. That would have made it easier to push back. It came up in planning conversations I wasn't part of, in summaries after decisions had already been made. We thought it would be better this way. The first time they went without me, it sounded temporary, a shorter trip, a lot of walking. Not really your thing. I didn't argue. I didn't want to be the person who proved their point by insisting. By the third or fourth time, it wasn't about the destination anymore. It was just understood that I wouldn't be there. Photos would show up later. Group shots with that casual closeness you only get from shared inconvenience. Someone would text me one of them with a neutral caption. Not exclusion exactly, just completion without me. I tried adjusting. Said less, smiled more, left things unchallenged when I would normally ask questions. It didn't change anything. The label had already done its work. It made everything I did easier to interpret. So I stopped trying to correct it. There's a quiet phase where you don't confront a pattern. You just step out of its reach. I answered calls, showed up for birthdays, kept things light, but I stopped asking about plans I already knew I wouldn't be part of. Around that time, I started saving more deliberately. Not for anything specific at first. Just to build something that didn't depend on how I was perceived. Work was steady. My expenses were predictable. It became a routine. Transfer, forget, repeat. The cabin came later. I found it through a listing that had been sitting too long. Small, slightly out of the way. Nothing impressive from the outside, but it had a view that didn't need explanation. Quiet in a way that didn't feel empty. I didn't tell anyone while I was finalizing it. There wasn't a reason not to. I just didn't feel the need to turn it into a family event. The paperwork went through, the payment cleared, and that was it. Something in my life existed fully without commentary. The first night I stayed there, I kept noticing how little I had to manage. No tone to maintain, no version of myself to calibrate, just space. They found out a few weeks later, not from me. Someone had seen a post I'd made, just a photo of the view, no caption that explained anything. It reached the family group chat quickly. Since when do you have a cabin? I answered simply. Recently. There were reactions. Surprise, a few compliments. It felt brief, like the conversation didn't know where to settle. Then it moved on. A few days after that, my brother called. He didn't ask about how I found the place, or why I chose it. He went straight to logistics. We're thinking of going somewhere for winter break, he said. The kids would love it. Your place would be perfect. There was a pause after your place, like he was adjusting to the idea while already using it. We'd just need it for a week. It wasn't framed as a favor, more like an efficient use of something already available. I could have said yes. It would have been easy, it would have restored a certain kind of balance. The kind where access replaces acknowledgement. Instead, I let the silence sit long enough to hear what I actually felt about it. Sorry, I said evenly. It's just for people with good energy. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't rush it. The words sounded almost casual once they were out. He didn't respond right away. When he did, there was something sharper underneath. Not confusion. Something closer to offense. That's unnecessary, he said. I didn't argue. It's just how I'm using the space, I replied. The call ended without resolution, not abruptly, just, without anything left to continue. He blocked me the next day. I found out because a message I sent didn't go through. No explanation attached. It was clean, decisive in a way our family rarely was. For a moment, I considered reaching out another way. Clearing it up, softening what I'd said so it could be absorbed without resistance. But I didn't. The cabin didn't change after that. Same quiet. Same view, the same absence of negotiation. I went up a few times over the next months, sometimes alone, sometimes with people I didn't have to explain myself to. Back home, things adjusted in smaller ways. My mother called once, careful with her tone. You didn't have to say it like that, she said. I listened. There were other things she didn't say. About the trips. About the years where good energy had been a requirement I hadn't met. I wasn't trying to be harsh, I said. Just clear. She didn't push further. The conversation moved on, but not completely. Something in it stayed unsettled. No one asked about using the cabin again. They still take trips. I see the photos sometimes, though less often now. The captions are shorter, or maybe I just read them differently. The space I have now isn't larger than before. It's just defined. And for the first time, that definition doesn't depend on whether I'm invited.